Hello, Choir of the Earth. Very, very good evening. And mercy me, what a fabulous turnout we have this evening. Welcome to all of you. And I want to say a special hello to anyone who's joining us this evening for this open session. You're very, very welcome. This is Choir of the Earth. My name's Ben. You are all very welcome to tonight's session. I just need to check that everything is working. Good. If I press some buttons, do I hear the various recordings? That's the Schubert. Something a bit more dramatic from here, Mozart. Something beautiful and very much in the style of the chapel from Palestrina. And something, well, that kind of combines all of them from Rheinberger. Oh, I'm so looking forward to you folks getting to know this music. It's so, so good. Let me just also check if I press... let's see, this button, we should see the various teaching files. That's good. Well, look, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. Hello to everyone who's here in the live chat. There's a fabulous poll going on, as you can see, asking how many of these Kyries people had sung before. And the people responding, 66% have sung none of them before, which is fantastic and very much how I wanted it to be, but it's great to see. I love it when a plan comes together, as they say. Well, look, hello to all of you watching this later on. This is free and open to anyone to enjoy. And if you're not yet a member of Choir of the Earth, there's plenty of time. Do sign up and come and be part of the online choral revolution. And hello to everyone who's watching live but not in the chat today. And then hello, everyone over here. Absolutely, I can feel the excitement, and I share it, actually, folks. It's a fabulous, fabulous programme. Hello, Adele. Hello, Adrian. Hello, Alison. Hello, Alison. Hello, Angela. Hello, Annie. Hello, Arvi. Hello, Carol. Hello, Carol. Hello, Nikki, looking after all of you. Hello, Christina. Hello, Christine. Hello, David. Hello, Teresa. Hello, David. Hello, Liz. Hello, Emma. Hello, Frida. Hello, Jill. Hello, Glennis. Hello, Gloria. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Jane. Hello, Jane. Hello, Jane. Hello, Jane. Hello, Jane. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Jill. Hello, Joan. Hello, Joy. Hello, Joyce. Hello, Judith. Hello, Judith. Hello, Judy. Oh, the J's is always a big one. Hello, Karen. Hello, Gareth. Hello, Kate. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Katri. Hello, Kitty. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Linda. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Liz. Hello, Lucy. Hello, Linda. Hello, Mary. Hello, Maury. Hello, Fiona. Hello, Michael. Hello, Mike. Hello, Nicola. Hello, Pam. Hello, Paula. Hello, Patricia. Hello, goodness me, it's moving really quickly now. Hello, Penny. Hello, Philomena. Hello, Pippa. Hello, Richard. Hello, Robert. Hello, Ros. Hello, Sheila. Hello, Susanna. Hello, Suzanne. Hello, Valerie. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Victensin. Hello, Wendy. And to anyone I've missed off, my apologies to you. But I do hope you're looking forward to the session. I see Cliff joined us and Diane and Gloria and Glennis and everyone. Well, look, looking forward to it enormously. Let's get started, shall we? And may I bid you all a very, very good evening from a beautifully sunny Bristol here in the UK. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's Choir of the Earth launch. It's an absolute privilege and pleasure to be sitting in front of you. And I want to welcome, as I say, anyone who is here for the first time. I do hope you enjoy the programme and that you consider coming and being part of this extraordinary choral group that has been going for very, very nearly, we're a week away from the 5th anniversary. More on that in a minute. But welcome all of you to the launch of our Quartet of Kyries course. So what we're going to do is just go through a few updates. Those of you joining us for the first time, we usually have news and things to share and some exciting things to announce. And today's no exception. So as you can see, it's the Quartet of Kyries. More on the dates and so on as we go. But first I want to update you on what's going on in our programme. As you can see, we're a very busy choir. We are still accepting and enjoying your submissions for Mahler 8, everyone. Of course, that was our a big project last year. It started in, I think, October, November time of last year. We didn't finish the teaching till January, and the recording window is open for part 2 and will be for some weeks yet. So if you're still working on part 2 of Mahler, we're still accepting your submissions. Please send them in and make sure, even if it's just one recording, that you are part of this project, because when we're done, we'll send it to the engineers and we'll start work on the video. So the Faces of Choir of the Earth will be in the Grieghallen in Bergen, with the Bergen Philharmonic being conducted by Edward Gardner. I mean, incredible. So thank you to everyone who's already submitted. invited, and remember to send them in if you haven't done so yet. The Haydn Harmony Mass, more on that in a minute. Of course, we've just finished that like a few days ago, and the recording window is very much open for those movements that haven't been sent in yet, and more on that in a minute. Obviously, we're starting the Quartet of Kyries, and we can see lots and lots of stuff coming soon. I'll talk more about the elements of music, but we've got Summer School 2025 starting in a matter of weeks, another gorgeous programme, and our Messiah 2025, which is the ultimate Messiah. Again, more on that in a minute. But first, I mentioned this choir is nearly 5. Okay, if this choir was a person, it would be going to primary school now. Okay, with its lunch under its arm and its coat too big for it. But it's an amazing achievement, all of us, to be about to celebrate our 5th anniversary. And here is your programme for next week. So this time next week, it is the 5th birthday. We launched on the 31st of March, 2020. And so we're going to have a party next week. You're all invited. There will be a cake. Okay, there will be party hats, there'll be balloons right here in the studio. You're very welcome to celebrate at home, but here in the party studio, it's going to be a 5th birthday party for all of you. There'll be games. Of course, there'll be a choir rehearsal as well, but we're going to have a lot of fun because next Monday is the 5th birthday of this choir. Founded as self-isolation choir in 2020. It's just going to be fabulous. Then on Tuesday, at 7 o'clock, so we'll have our rehearsals as normal next week, but at 7 o'clock next week, we're putting out a special edition Messiah. Now, this combines the sound from our Messiah 2, which so far is the best that we've put out, though, of course, we are going to absolutely nail Messiah this year. That's a terrible choice of phrase, my apologies. We're going to have a fabulous time with Messiah this year with our brand new Fieri tracks, which are coming soon, but it's going to be a wonderful video combining the sound of Messiah 2 with the best videos from Messiah at home, the Christmas Messiah, all sorts. It's going to be brilliant. So that's going out on the 1st of April at 7 o'clock, and that is a very, very special concert. Then on Wednesday, 2nd of April, Summer School 2021. Now, this was for many people a standout course, and so we're going to pull together some of our favourite recordings from that summer school. That includes pieces like The Rose by Oliello, Upon Your Heart, Jake Runnestad, I Will Lift Mine Eyes, Let My Prayer Rise, and so on. And Marcus produced some wonderful, wonderful videos, which we're going to enjoy on the 2nd of April. And then on the 3rd of April, everyone, this is a really special event. And we're calling it Your Voice Louder. Because what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to send in messages, either written or recorded, very short, please. Don't go on too long, because we've only got 2 hours. But we're going to play messages from choristers from around the world to each other, and I will be here live in the studio talking to you. There'll be requests, all sorts of things. Basically, it's a 2-hour celebration of 5 years of Choir of the Earth. So keep an eye out on your email. There's a note from Coach. If it's not out already, it's coming out soon with details of how you submit your voice louder, and we're really looking forward to hearing from all of you. Whether you're a current member or a past member, we'd love to have you be involved. Now, I'm thrilled to announce today we have put on sale the latest Around Sound lecture series. Now, again, many of you will have taken part and enjoyed the last Around Sound series, which was the evolution of classical music. This is the elements of music, and the first session of this is the 22nd of April, which is 4 weeks tomorrow. So this is now on sale. This is 8 sessions. The last one was 6. This is 8 sessions. And these are 90-minute sessions, so it's 12 hours of content, plus we do a Zoom after each one as well. So actually, it's more like 16 hours of content, and it will be packed. We're going to cover all of the elements of music: pitch, rhythm, harmony, texture, timbre, all of these different parts that go together to create the emotion, to create the heart of music. I'm absolutely passionate about music teaching, and this, I think, is already taking shape into my favourite course so far. So don't miss it. It is going to go on sale for £89. Bear in mind the work that's going to go into it. I do appreciate it's a lot, but it is going to be excellent value. But it's even better if you are a Choir of the Earth member. You get a substantial discount. So it's on sale. It's £75 for those 8 2-hour sessions, and that is going to be starting 4 weeks tomorrow. do go on to choirlibrary.com and book your place. Now, for those of you that haven't enjoyed the evolution of classical music, that is available now. This is last year's lecture series, and there is a £10 discount off for members if you haven't seen it. And associate members, please bear with us. We will have that scheme up and running soon. So if you're a past member and you want to support us and you want to join our associate membership scheme, please bear with us just a couple more days and we'll have that up very, very soon. Now, I mentioned Messiah earlier on. Now, we are very, very excited about revisiting Messiah this year as we're going to be commissioning brand new guide tracks. So far, you've only ever sung either along with a piano or with me squeaking away on the top notes. Well, we've commissioned the Fieri Consort to record, or we are in the process of commissioning. We're just trying to raise enough money to pay for the whole thing. We are at the moment, as of this broadcast, we are 68% funded, which is almost all the way through part 2 of Messiah. We've got all of part 1 and all but one movement funded in part 2. Unfortunately, the one we haven't quite got to yet is the Hallelujah Chorus. So can I ask you, please, if you haven't already done so, please do give to our crowdfunder. This is going to be the definitive set of resources for Handel's Messiah. Not only will we have the Fieri tracks, we'll have our wonderful teaching, of course, using score on screen. We'll have sound slices, the whole shebang. So please do help us out. If you haven't given already, please do so. A quick reminder, of course, those of you who aren't aware, but this amazing organisation is putting together some fantastic live events, and we're concluding our Nelson Mass tour, which started last year in London and has been all around the UK. Well, we're heading off to Austria in September. Had to think about that. 23rd to the 26th of September. We're going to Vienna, to Eisenstadt, and to the Palace at Esterházy. And this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to sing the Nelson Mass and some other gorgeous classical pieces in the Haydn Hall at the Palace at Esterházy with a professional orchestra, 24-piece orchestra, a full selection of professional soloists. We get to record, to rehearse in a wonderful hall in Vienna. Coach travel, tours, meals, absolutely wonderful. So do check it out, and very, very limited space. I think there might be 1 or 2 spaces left. And the other trip that we're really excited for, which is coming up sooner and is a little bit more local, this is the 27th to the 30th of June, right here in Bristol, where I live and have lived very, very happily for the last 30 years. We are hosting the incredible Summer School Live. This is the first of its kind, and enjoy a weekend of workshops, performances, beautiful historic venues. We're going to be singing and rehearsing in a space called St James's Priory, which is the oldest building in Bristol, dates back to the 11th century, and it has the most extraordinary acoustic. We're going to be singing with wonderful professional musicians. You get a private concert of the Lark Ascending, which was premiered in Bristol. There's the link. And a wonderful, wonderful programme of music to include Quanta Qualia, Indo Dana, Upon Your Heart, Bridge Over Troubled Water, and a world premiere with the family of the composer Eric Weatherall in attendance. So do join us for that. That's all available via the Choir of the Earth website. Just go to events and you can book, and please do get on that quickly because places are going fast. Okay, I'm nearly through my news and updates, everyone. I just need to remind you about the Haydn Harmony Mass, the recording dates. So the Kyrie and Gloria are closed for submissions. You've got until the 13th of April to send in the Credo, and you've got until the 20th of April, 27th of April, and 4th of May, respectively, for Sanctus Benedictus Agnus Dei. These are to make sure that you are in the final products, because the engineers will be right on this just as soon as we can. So do get those pieces recorded and sent in to us, and you have our huge thanks, all of you, for all the hard work that's gone in so far. Now, of course, the Haydn Harmony Mass, the Nelson Mass, so many other pieces that we've sung, they have something in common. They use the same text. And all of these masses, the requiems that we've done, with the exception of the Brahms, they all start with a Kyrie eleison. And that leads us to this brand new course that we are starting today. And this is a first for Choir of the Earth. We've never put out anything quite like this. Rather than looking at one work in its entirety, this is a little bit of a selection box, if you like, a smorgasbord. We're going to put together the first movement from a series of works, and this we're calling the Quartet of Kyries. Now, it actually is a way, I think, of weaving together some of the more interesting and, if I'm honest, some of the lesser known works in the repertoire. I think it's fair to say that we're all very familiar with the Mozart Requiem Kyrie and the Fauré Requiem Kyrie and the Rutter Requiem, but the pieces that I've selected for this course, I've very deliberately gone to the slightly more obscure but absolutely beautiful side of the repertoire list. And so let's start off first of all by just talking about Kyrie eleison. Where does this come from? Well, it has its roots in ancient prayer traditions, obviously in Greek prayer traditions. As far as we're aware, the Kyrie eleison was integrated into Christian worship in around about the 4th century, I should say. Certainly by the 4th century, we've got records of it being used then, and particularly in Byzantine and in Roman rites. And the structure we can see here, it follows a threefold pattern. It's a call for mercy. Lord, have mercy. So it's Lord, have mercy, Christ, have mercy, Lord, have mercy. And you'll almost certainly have sung this this threefold pattern before, maybe in English, maybe in your native language. But of course, we will be singing all 4 of these Kyries in the original language, in the original Greek. Now, in terms of placement in the Mass, it's obviously the first sung prayer in the ordinary of the Mass, which follows the introit, or if it's a requiem, it'll follow the first part of that. And it represents really penitence, humility, a plea for grace. And it's been set by countless composers. I had a go at counting up how many, and I stopped at 300. There are so many settings of the Mass, so many ways to ask for forgiveness, to ask for mercy, to plea for divine grace. And it's been set into very elaborate settings, very simple settings, in polyphonic and homophonic settings. If you want to know what that means, do sign up for the Around Sound course, which is on sale now at choirlibrary.com. But we're looking at these 4 particular settings in this course. The settings by Schubert, Mozart, Palestrina, and Rheinberger. Now, these 4 pieces, they do actually have a thread between them. First of all, they are all beautiful, and they are all in harmony. They all have elements that I think you could point to and say, well, there's a lot of similarity. But I've chosen these 4, and I've chosen this order for some very, very good reasons. And I shall get to it now. So let's talk first of all about the Schubert. Now, I have to say, Schubert is, to my mind, one of the most important composers in music history. And yet I feel, even though most people have heard it and have heard of him and have heard some of his music, he's not represented well at all in the Choir of the Earth past repertoire. And yet his music is extraordinary. He was well known for writing exquisite harmony and coming up with incredible ways of writing beautiful tunes. And in many ways, he was a more, I think, polished composer across the board, across all the various elements. He could write a beautiful tune. He could write harmony that engaged the listener. His use of rhythm, his use of texture and timbre, all of these different elements were exquisitely represented by Schubert. He composed over 600 songs, which were known as Lieder, alongside symphonies, chamber music, choral music. I mean, his output is vast, and yet he died tragically young at the age of 31. And rather unusually, even for composers who died this young, he knew, very sadly, that his end was near. He contracted syphilis, and I will talk at some point during this course about the tragic events that led to his death, but he knew that he was dying for many years. And so there is a late period of Schubert's life, which was his late 20s, where he knew that his end was near, and it very deeply affected his musical output. If you listen to his song cycles, Winterreise is a good example, you can hear the impact of his knowing his fate. And this work, this Mass in A flat from which this Kyrie is taken, is regarded as a late Mass. It was written after he knew he was ill, and the impact on the music is immense. So the piece itself was composed, as I say, as part of the Mass in A flat. It was very much influenced by Haydn, but also influenced by Beethoven, particularly as the work progresses. The Kyrie at the start doesn't have a huge amount that's influenced by Beethoven. It's much more lyrical. It's nowhere near as dramatic as the Mozart D minor Kyrie that we're going to listen to shortly, but it's very, very expressive. It has a homophonic opening, so this means chords. It has a flowing, almost pastoral feel. You'll hear elements of that sort of 19th century calling out across the meadows and imagining the forests and the mountains, which was very much a driving force behind that of the Romantic composers. There are some wonderful modulations, harmonic shifts, emotional depth to this. It emphasizes warmth and prayerfulness rather than big theatrics, which we'll hear from Mr. Mozart very, very shortly, and really beautiful lyrical phrasing. There are also some extraordinary moments where the accompaniment, which in this case will be played on the piano, stops and just leaves the choir singing a cappella in the style of the chapel, and some of the clashes, some of the harmonies are just so extraordinary. I first sang this piece when I was 17, and I will never forget the impact that this piece had on me, which is why it's here. So we're going to start our course with the Schubert Kyrie from the Mass in A flat, partly because it is a relatively quick one to learn. It'll allow us to get into the course quite quickly, and you'll see at the end why I've chosen these four pieces and the thread that connects them. But let's have a look at the score. Now we have 4 scores for this course put together, and these are custom-made scores. They've been produced for us by Susanna, and they've been proofread by Emma, so they've done an incredible job in putting these together for us, and huge thanks to them for that hard work. We're going to listen to it. Now, I have recorded all of the parts for all of these pieces, and for those of you watching who are regular Choir of the Earth members, this is partly a budgetary reason. Obviously we're delighted to work with the Fieri Consort, but this was an opportunity to maybe lower the cost a little bit so we could put more into the production of the final recording. And to remind all of you, thanks to the generosity of our wonderful community, we are going to be able to record all 4 of these pieces. As we go through the Schubert, you'll hear some solo sections. These are to be learnt and sung by Choir of the Earth, so we are going to record the solos. The alternative is me singing the soprano solo, which frankly nobody wants to hear. So let's enjoy the first of our 4 Kyries. This is the Kyrie from the Mass in A flat by the great Franz Schubert. I do hope you enjoy. Well, there you are, everyone. That is the first of our 4 Kyries. And I have to say, I have wanted to conduct this piece for for 30 years, since I first sang it. This incredible section I'm showing here on screen with the long bass line. I was singing bass. I could not believe how beautiful the music was, even though I was holding one note. Altos know what I'm talking about. How beautiful this music was, and we get to sing it, and we get to record all of those gorgeous solos as well. It's a very, very special piece, and I'm really, really excited to share it with all of you. But let's go back to the list of Kyries, because that's just one of the extraordinary pieces. I really have gone through and thought, right, what are my absolute all-time favourite Kyries? And this is another one that's very much on my list. If I ever had the chance, I would have taught this. This is Mozart, obviously. I don't need to tell you that. He's one of the most celebrated composers in history, a child prodigy who composed from an early age and became a master, if not the master, of the classical style. His output contains symphonies, piano concertos, sonatas, chamber music, opera, and sacred works. And though his life was short, he revolutionized music with expressive depth, structural perfection, and almost effortless melodic invention. We're very, very familiar with Mozart's music here at Choir of the Earth. We obviously recorded his Requiem in D minor and his Great Mass in C minor, which were, I think, amongst the most profound and moving experiences in our repertoire. I think the Great Mass in C minor was moving in many, many ways. I just want to point out, and this was something I'm afraid I have only just found out, this famous portrait of Mozart, which we know from, I mean, every time you see Mozart, you see this. If you've ever been to Salzburg and you've bought the Mozart Kugel, you know, the sort of Mozart balls, this picture is on them. But this was painted in 1819, long after Mozart had died. And the portrait artist was working from a very famous picture of Mozart, which was painted in the 1780s, when he was still very, very young. And what the artist did is she extrapolated and worked on what he would look like when he was older from this image, which I think is extraordinary. I just wanted to share that with you. Now, in terms of the 1780s, bearing in mind Mozart was very, very young, we believe that this work, or some people believe that this work, the Kyrie in D minor, originated from 1780 to 1781, thereabouts, during Mozart's stay in Munich. And this is where his opera Idomeneo was being performed. And basically, we think that Mozart was largely disinterested in church music in the latter half of his life because he didn't write very much. He wrote most of his masses in the early part of his career. Things like the orphanage mass and the sparrow mass and even the coronation mass all date from his Salzburg years. And he only really wrote pieces like Ave Verum Corpus and the Requiem in the last year of his life. So this has been known for many years as the Münchener Kyrie, the Munich Kyrie. But quite recently, there have been the discovery of some sketches from the late 1800s, which suggest that this piece actually dates from Vienna in around about 1787, when Mozart was hoping to be appointed Kapellmeister of St. Stephen's Cathedral. Obviously, he wasn't. But this is a really, really interesting piece. It's sort of a little bit like Purcell's Hear My Prayer, O Lord, which we recorded some years ago. It's basically just the head. That's all it is. There is nothing else. There's no other part of the Mass. We don't know what Mozart intended for the Gloria and the Credo and the Sanctus and the Benedictus. We just have this Kyrie. And another important factor with this is it is in D minor. And those of us who know Mozart's music know that D minor is a really important key for him. We've got the piano concerto in D minor. We've obviously got the Requiem, which is in D minor, and of course we've got Don Giovanni, and so on. All of these pieces are particularly dark and particularly intense, and the key of D minor is the one that Mozart uses for his most intense music. And so this Kyrie is particularly dark and very, very dramatic. It's full of some really advanced harmony, the kind of thing, again, I'm going to cover in the around sound, but the kind of thing really that is so forward looking. There are times you're listening thinking, is this actually romantic music? Is this 19th century? Some of the clashes that he comes out with in this are so stark for this particular time in history. And I have to say, I'm not sure whether Haydn ever heard it, but those of us who have enjoyed his Nelson Mass recently will hear similarities in the style and particularly in the harmonic writing. So I'm going to press this magic button here. No, that's the wrong button. That is the first chord. But let's show the score on screen. Here's another one of Susanna's wonderful scores, created by Susanna and proofread by Emma. A very, very important task. And so I've added to the organ sound. I've added some drums. I've added some brass. Obviously, all using my studio equipment here. But what you'll hear is a huge amount of drama and some absolutely gorgeous classical writing. So, take it away, Mr. Mozart. Here we go. There you are. What a special piece. Isn't that stunning? I absolutely loved recording that for all of you. I cannot wait to hear your voices stitched together, as our engineers do so well, combining to create Mozart's Kyrie in D minor. A work, as I say, I've wanted to conduct for over 30 years, and Choir of the Earth will be my first time waving for all of you. So there we go. Now that will be, I'm sure you can hear the similarities, and of course it's like the light and the dark of those two pieces. You've got the Schubert, which is warm and lyrical, and you've got the Mozart, which is dark and dramatic, but there are so many threads of the elements of music that connect them together. And that's why we've paired them this side of Easter. Now, there'll be a 2-week break after we finish the Mozart, and then we will start one of the most important pieces in the history of choral music, written by this chap here. And it's such an important piece. Bear in mind, this by the way, is Palestrina. Palestrina wrote over 100 masses, but the Missa Papae Marcelli, which is dedicated to Pope Marcellus II, this is perhaps his most famous and most important mass. So much so that in most of the portraits of the time painted of Palestrina, he's holding, as he is here, a copy of the score. If you think about Handel and his tomb in Westminster Abbey, he's holding Messiah. Here, Palestrina is holding the Missa Papae Marcelli. Now, Palestrina is a towering figure in the Renaissance era, one of the most important composers ever. He is credited really with refining polyphonic music. And again, polyphony is one of the elements of music. It's part of texture. And if you think, we've had quite a lot of chords in this evening's session so far. That's homophony. Polyphony is these interweaving lines, so thinking more horizontally than vertically. And he is credited, as I say, refining this to its highest level of clarity and beauty, so the message of the text rings out and isn't in any way occluded. And now he worked in Rome. As I said, he wrote over 100 masses and hundreds of motets, shorter pieces, and established a model of sacred music that became a benchmark not just for liturgical composition of that time, but we heard in the Schubert those elements that were just taken without the accompaniment, very much harking back to Palestrina. Those of us who enjoyed the Monteverdi Vespers recently, big sections of that, what was known as the Stile Antico, that was very much after Palestrina. And this type of music has beautiful, smooth vocal lines, and this idea of almost textural transparency. You can hear every word. Nothing is covered, nothing is hidden. It's absolutely gorgeous. And now there is a myth around the Missa Papae Marcelli that in the composition of this piece, Palestrina saved polyphony. It was supposed to have been banned by the Council of Trent. That's exaggerated, but there's no doubt that this piece had such an impact on the world of music that composers wrote in this style for centuries and centuries after he wrote it. What we're going to hear is lots and lots of imitative polyphony. And again, I'm going to explain all of this in the Around Sound that's coming up soon. But this is where you have interweaving lines with one comes in and follows another in a shape that imitates. And these lines build to a beautiful climax as it crescendos gradually through the piece to create what we call a seamless flow. You don't hear the chords changing. You just feel this sense of movement, almost as if you're floating along on a river. So let's enjoy this beautiful piece. Again, I had huge amounts of fun putting this one together for all of you. And this is in 6 parts, not 4. So we have double bass and double tenor parts here. Now, I do hope that those of you who are singing soprano will sing alto for this one. I do hope the altos will all join the tenors. Oops, that's the wrong one. Will all join the tenors for their line, and some of the tenors will consider singing first bass, because really it's all hands on deck for this one. And of course, one of the great things about Choir of the Earth is you can sing as many parts as you can manage. So this one is particularly lovely, and I do hope you enjoy listening to it. This is going to be our first week back after our Easter break, and what a week it's going to be. Here it is, the Kyrie from the Missa Papae Marcelli by Palestrina. Kyrie. Well, a little bit like Schubert, we've waited 5 years to invite Palestrina into our repertoire list, and well, it's worth the wait, but it just leaps out at you as an absolutely extraordinary masterpiece, doesn't it? Just so, so beautiful. And I can't wait to hear your voices in this recording. I had huge fun, as you can tell, putting this together. And it's going to be a huge amount of fun when we come to learn it. And that brings us to the final Kyrie in this course. And this is a composer, well, you'll notice straight away, it's not a portrait, it's a photograph. This, everyone, is Rheinberger. And he was a very, very important composer in the 19th century. He was a master of sacred choral music and of organ composition. Obviously a German composer, organist and teacher. Served as professor in Munich. There's a little connection to that Mozart Kyrie. And he influenced a generation of musicians with fabulous names, including Engelbert Humperdinck. That's the composer, not the singer from the 1970s. And Furtwängler, the conductor. Now, his Mass for double choir in E flat major is one of his finest choral achievements. And the reason it's in this particular course is that, honestly, it's nowhere near as well known as some other beautiful a cappella pieces, but it really, really should be. And this is our way of kind of evangelizing about this fabulous piece. And one of the reasons it is with these others is it blends together elements of the Renaissance and the Baroque, but also the classical tradition. And so it is a way of wrapping up the Kyries by calling to music by Palestrina and Schubert and even Mozart to pull together this gorgeous piece. And it's really, it's a very, very special sound when you hear the combination of the what's called the antiphony. And again, this is all part of texture, where you have choirs singing against each other, antiphony, sound against. You get this real sense of being surrounded by sound and a lush harmonic language, expressive chords, beautiful warm textures, dynamic contrast, call and response. I mean, it's a masterpiece of sacred choral writing. And I think it's slowly gaining appreciation in choral circles. But I have to say, when we were putting this course together, this was the one I thought we have to include. This one. Now, it is for double choir, and now what you'll see on screen is just choir one, because I thought trying to fit both choirs on screen would just look really complicated. Of course, you will have access to the full choir, and just to show you, we've got, if I press, let's see, this button here, this is choir one, and then this is choir two. So you can see one starts and then the other one follows. Let's follow along with choir one. But you don't necessarily even need to look at the score to get the sense of beauty that Rheinberger creates for us. This is the Kyrie from the Rheinberger Mass in E flat major for double choir. And if you've never heard it before, well, I do hope you enjoy, because I think this is stunning. Here we go. It's one of those pieces, when I first heard it, it wasn't that long ago, I thought, that's got Choir of the Earth written all over it. I can see that one, I can hear that one already, sung by all of you, taking its rightful place in the pantheon of great works sung by us, including Quanta Qualia and Indodana. That's a very, very special one. And so that's going to be a big week. Just be aware, this is the final week of the Kyries course because we have 8 parts to teach across 4 rehearsals. So do come prepared. Speaking of being prepared, of course, for those of you that aren't aware, we will be producing sound slices for this, so you'll be able to access those. Again, these are exclusive for choir members, not to be shared outside of the organisation, but you'll be able to access those. You're going to be able to solo individual lines and hear all the parts, slow it down, speed it up. It really is a fabulous resource. So some of them are already up, and do please go and have a look at those after this rehearsal. So just to sum up, everyone, because we are at the end of our session, for some reason that's not showing well, I just want to reflect quickly on the 4 distinct approaches by our 4 fabulous composers. You've got Mozart, who's being dramatic and operatic with his Kyrie. You've got Schubert, who's being lyrical and expressive. You've got Palestrina, pure and balanced. You've got the Rheinberger, which is harmonically rich and totally immersive. And this shows the evolution of the Kyries from the Renaissance simplicity to the romantic grandeur, and all of those threads tie together from what Palestrina starts to Rheinberger finishes. It's a beautiful quartet of Kyries, and I do hope that you've enjoyed tonight. I do hope those of you who are already Choir of the Earth members are really excited to get learning these and get recording them. And of course, those of you that aren't currently Choir of the Earth members, do consider signing up and joining us with these fabulous pieces. Following this course, we've got a summer school, which is completely different in terms of the style, but no less fun, with some absolutely brilliant, well, music from the popular repertoire and jazz influenced music as well, and then Messiah just around the corner. And so everyone, do enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow for the start of this course with our sectionals. Do drop in and see us. Those of you who are regular members, you're welcome to all the rehearsals. We're starting the Schubert this week and the Mozart next week. Do remember to join us on Monday next week for our 5th birthday party, and on Thursday next week for the, well, Your Voice Louder session, which I think is going to be one of the most powerful and moving sessions we have ever put out. Yes, ever. But in the meantime, everyone, enjoy the rest of your evening, and thanks so much for being here. Take care. Bye.